What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again. Back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people that just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a channel, a podcast, or anything like that. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, the History Channel, aka the Boxtorian. This is the Monday afternoon edition. How is everybody doing this Monday afternoon? Another weekend over, another week started. I know you're probably tired of hearing me talking about this by now, but man, these weeks are going by fast. It seemed like just yesterday I was starting out last Monday. And here we go again. We had 3 fight cards Friday. I'm going to touch on them briefly. Because time is going by so fast. The 3 cards we had Friday seemed like it was about a month ago now. Just 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine was okay. Did enjoy the NBA All-Star game. I enjoyed the slam dunk contest. Nothing like that one I talked about last week, though, the 1988. Michael Jordan against Dominique Wilkins. But there will never be another one that good. At least I haven't seen one. And if anybody seen one better than that, please let me know so I can go watch it. Mike Masick in the building. Salute, Mike. Welcome to another episode of Cash Sports, the History Channel, aka the Boxtorian. Hope you had a good weekend, Mike. We'll be back to start it all over again. Today is going to be the super middleweight division. We're working our way on down through the divisions for the history of each one. Then we profile 10 top fighters, former fighters that fought in the division. No active fighters. I mean, if Cash Sports still has his podcast 40 years from now, then I'll do a show on Canelo and David Benavidez, David Morrell, Christian and Bully, Taylor Plant, them guys. But today it's the old retired fighters' chance, okay? Yeah. But salute to Mike Masick in the building. Boston Celtics fan. They looking good this year, Mike. So, we're going to talk about the Super 6 tournament, which was in the 168-pound division. So, we're going to touch on that. The Super 6 Classic. I know y'all remember that. Yeah. That was, they need to have, not another one of those, some more of those, in some of these weight classes. But, we won't get another Super 6. And, this is why I think, because when you're in a tournament like that, you cannot control who you're fighting. And that's what these fighters and promoters and things won't like about that nowadays. They want to be able to control, handpick. But, you're getting a Super 6 tournament. You have no control over who you fight. So we won't get another one of them anytime soon. Because today's fighters like to handpick and cherry pick and you know, all about that O. Yeah, it's all about that. We're gonna talk about the Super 6 World Boxing Classic though today on Cast Sports for History Channel. I always wait till about 2:30. Give a few more people a chance to get in the building. Whoever's not in here by 2:30, just miss out on all this good information. As we get over here at Cast Sports, the History Channel. Yeah, but we had a card from we had the Shaki card from Madison Square Garden, then we had the one from Mexico, and we had Pro Box. But I believe Pro Box will be back on the regular schedule next Wednesday. It's every other Wednesday. They'll be back on Wednesday next week. Yeah. And we'll have the fights back on this Saturday. I think we got Alejandro Santiago this Saturday. He's the guy that beat Nonito Donaire for he has a WBC title at bantamweight. He took one of the vacant titles that Monster dropped when he moved up. And actually the Monster's little brother is on that card too. I think. He has one of the titles that the Monster dropped. Takuma, in a way, he has the WBA title. Okay. And then we got another card next Saturday too. That's the one from Florida, headlined by Edgar Berlanga and Padraig McCrory. Andy Cruz on that card, the co-main. So yeah, making his third appearance. Of course, another 10-rounder. Andy came out of the gate doing 10-rounders, you know. So we get to see Andy again. And of significance, him and Keyshawn only like a couple weeks apart. So hey, but we're not gonna get that anytime soon. The Suits are gonna milk that. They got the storyline, you know, the 4 fights in the amateurs, and the "I'm Your Daddy" remark by Andy. So yeah, I would say late 2025 at the earliest, and probably 2026 before we get Keyshawn and Andy. It definitely won't be in 2024 because you know the Suits are always thinking about money, and you know they have it now. It's leaving a whole lot of money on the table, you know. And then suppose we get a beat down or something, then we can't have a rematch. But wait and have it, you get a real good fight, you might milk a trilogy out of it. Keyshawn and Andy. Right now, I would pick Andy. Although Keyshawn did look good last week, I must say, but yeah, I think Andy would outbox him. I think Andy's ready right now. Come out of that Cuban boxing system down there. You know, all Cuban fighters, when they come into the professional ranks now, come in ready to go. You know, they have an extensive amateur background. Part of the best amateur system in the world down there in Cuba. Because at one time, that's all they had. They weren't allowed to go pro. You had to leave the country, like Ugas did. But now, you know, a lot of Cuban fighters going pro. And they come in ready. There's Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. She's at work, but she told me she was going to be listening. How are you, Miss Cass? I hope you're not working too hard down there. I don't work you too hard. I don't want to have to come down there. Salute, Miss Cass, hashtag JBT in the building. There's Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion, hashtag JBT. And we're getting close to another Let's Talk Fashion. Okay, that's Wednesday. You know what we do on Tuesday. We won't come up here and give us a preview. Wait, that's tomorrow. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. I was getting ready to say that was today. Yes, that's tomorrow. You know, this time is going by so fast, man. You know, it'll get away from you. Yeah, I heard that. Did I hear this morning that Jay Hardcore is going to be on the hashtag Let's Talk Fashion tomorrow? The one and only Jay Hardcore at Remo. You can't miss that. I think I heard this morning in the hangout. I was kind of busy. I was just listening. Yeah. So that'll be fire. It's fire anyway, but Jay Hardcore on there with Remo, it'll be fire. Yeah. Talking about super middleweight today, my people. Yes. Right, yeah, we'll do that tomorrow, Remo. I was getting ready to say today, but it's only Monday. I'm trying to rush it. But to get those Let's Talk Fashion so bad, I'm rushing. Yeah. Tomorrow is Tuesday. All right. But we're going to get it straight. Get our preview tomorrow. Yep. And yeah, I was talking about this weekend. We got Andy Cruz in action this weekend coming up. All right. Edgar Berlanga. Edgar, please don't bite anyone. Okay. Thank you very much. And we got we have two cards. That one is in Florida. Okay. Andy is making his third appearance. Excuse me. There's hardcore boxing news. Jay Hardcore in the building. The proprietor of the hangout. 8 and 8, you know, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Because, you know, 8 plus 8 equals the hangout. Okay. Jay Hardcore stopped off in here. He's on his way around the block, but he stopped in here for a little while. Just got to get around there by 8 o'clock tonight. He'll make it. Salute, Jay Hardcore. Yeah, I was just saying, we got old Andy back in action this weekend. Of course, it's 10 rounds. You know, Andy came out the gate doing 10 out of their Cuban boxing system. All Cuban fighters come in there ready to go. Part of the best amateur system in the world. Yeah. And today we're going to be in the super middleweight division. You know, I always try to wait till about 2:30, get a few more people in here. Salute to Jay Hardcore in the building. Remo. Hashtag JBT. Jay Hardcore, hashtag JBT, is the founder of the JBT movement. Okay? That's him. We got Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. Mike Mace again here. He's a part of the JBT. Everybody don't wear that JBT behind their name. Yet. They will. But how's everybody doing this Monday afternoon? Getting the work week kicked back off. These days are just going by too fast, man. Told y'all they went up there in that space shuttle, going in and out of the atmosphere. They'd speeded the Earth up. You know, a second used to be 1001, 1002, 1003. Now it's 1001, 1002, 1003. That's possible, yeah. Just made everything go by faster. I really believe that. Okay, we're going to touch on the Super 6 tournament since we're talking about 168, because that was at 168, remember? Won by Andre Ward. That's what we need now. Not a Super 6. We need some Super 6. But you know why we won't get them now? Because you can't control who you fight. These guys nowadays just not going to do that, man. You know, they like to control and pick who they're going up against. You get in a Super 6 tournament, you have no control over. You just got to fight who wins. And I just can't see that happening nowadays. That would be a big roadblock in the way of getting a Super 6 tournament. Yeah. But it would be nice. Down there around 135, 140. Any other weight classes, really. Did one at 168, which we're going to talk about today. That would make Canelo fight somebody. He probably wouldn't even participate in it. Wouldn't that be something? A Super 6 tournament and the undisputed champion of the division not in it. But I got Canelo saying no. I don't need that. I'm Canelo. What y'all think? I guarantee you. Another Super 6 at 168, Canelo wouldn't even participate. Guarantee you he wouldn't. Because he might have to go up against that monster. You know. Can't cherry pick in no Super 6. You just got to fight who's next in line. There's Mike Rhyme in the building. What's up, Mike Rhyme? How are you today, bro? Yeah, you getting that tournament. Ain't no cherry picking. You gotta fight who's winning. So Mr. Canelo with these, no, excuse me, I'm not participating. I'm Canelo. I do what I want to do. I've earned that right. And it's sad, but he's right. He's right. He's earned the right to do whatever he wants to do because he's doing it. But let's get ready to get started, okay? 20 after 2. Few people just have to miss out. Okay. We had 3 cards Friday. Yeah, we had 3 cards Friday. Yeah. Real quick. O'Shaquie retained his WBC junior lightweight title with a split decision over Abraham Nova. It's 115, 113, 116, 111 for O'Shaquie. One judge actually gave it to Nova. 114, 113. Then Bruce Shushu Carrington had a highlight reel knockout over Bernard Angelo Torres, 4th round. That was at 126. Tiger Johnson got a 1st round TKO in his fight. Very impressive. Top ranked card, displaying some of their good youngsters. I'm not going over all the cards. Then down in Mexico, Fibonacci Nonshinga, he stopped Adrian Curiel, and this was a rematch. Nonshinga takes his title back from Curiel. Curiel had stopped Nonshinga in, I think it was November of last year. Yeah, November 2023. And in the rematch, Nonshinga takes it back. And that was at IBF Junior Flyweight, 108. Yep. Mauricio Laro's on the card. He got a majority draw against Daniel Lugo. And then we had Pro Box. The main event on Pro Box was Ramon Cardenas got a 6th round TKO over Israel Rodriguez Picasso when Picasso didn't come out for the 7th round due to a severely broken jaw he suffered in the fight. Yeah. And so that was the next weekend, of course, like I was saying, we got Andy Cruz, 2 cards. First one is from Japan, Alejandro Santiago. A couple of guys that picked up some of the vacant belts that Monster dropped. And then the Monster's little brother, Takuma Inoue, is on the card. He got one of the belts that Monster dropped. I've never seen him fight. I guess we'll see him. And they actually have a card from Japan on a Saturday. Wow. They're usually on Tuesdays, you know, because that's their big fight night over there. But it's going to be on Saturday. I wonder what time. And then the other card is from Florida, Edgar. And like I said, please, Edgar, don't bite nobody, okay? And that's the card Andy is on. Andy it'll be his 3rd fight. Where's Andy going up against? Andy is fighting a guy named Brian Damaripa. 10 rounds, of course. Okay, today we are going to be talking about the super middleweight division. Okay, 168. Okay, little history of it. We're going to profile 10 former fighters, 10 former top fighters. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Super 6 that was held at 168, since we're in 168. Super 6 Boxing Classic, a tournament that was held between 2009 and 2011, I believe. Yeah, went over 2 years, 6 fighters. Andre Ward ended up winning, but we're going to get into that in a minute. Take a drink of water. Y'all ready? Let's get into it. It's Monday. I don't know where everybody's at, but it's all good. I used to talk to myself, so if it's one person in here, it's all good. Let's go. Okay, let's hit the like button. That's all I ask. You know, if it's one person, I should have 1 like, right? Well, 2, because mine. I should have 2 likes. All right. We're going to look at the super middleweight division today. Now, super middleweight is contested between middleweight and light heavyweight, okay? And the weight boxers can weigh between 160 pounds and 168 pounds. Now, they don't have to weigh, they have to weigh that when they weigh in, okay? But by the next day when they fight, they can weigh anything they want to, as much as they can put on, which is not right, but that's just how it is. Not unless you have a rehydration clause, or under IBF rules, they have a 10-pound rehydration clause. But you know, WBC, WBA, WBO, you have to weigh in between 160 and 168. But if you can get up to 300 by the next day, you can fight at 300, which they need to do something. They need to have the weigh-ins back on the same day, I think. But yeah, super middleweight is between 160 and 168, okay? Now, the weight class first appeared in 1967, because, you know, they called these the tweener classes, the juniors and the supers. And they, most of them came around in the modern era of boxing, you know. They didn't have those back in the 30s, 40s, around in there, They didn't have the tweener divisions. Anyway, the super middleweight first appeared in 1967, okay? Now, there was interest in a division between middleweight and light heavyweight in the late 60s, right? Mid-1970s and the early 1980s. Now, a few states briefly recognized, they used to call it junior light heavyweight. Makes sense, right? Below heavyweight, light heavyweight. Used to call it junior light heavyweight, right? And there was a sanctioning body called the World Athletic Association, the WAA, who in 1967 formed the junior heavyweight division, junior light heavyweight division, right? And the weight limit was 167 pounds at first, okay? Now they later changed it to super middleweight, but it started out as junior light heavyweight, okay? Now the first fight was in 1967 in Salt Lake City, Utah, between Don Fulmer. His brother was former world middleweight champion Gene Fulmer, okay? Now Don Fulmer was the first champion. He beat Joe Hopkins. It was 1967. And the sanctioning body was the WAA, okay? The World Athletic Association. Now, Don Fulmer never defended that title, okay? Then on November 25th in 1974, in Columbus, Ohio, Billy Douglas. He was the father of James Buster Douglas, okay? And Billy Douglas beat Danny Brewer stopped him in 2 rounds to win the Ohio Commission's version of the World Junior Light Heavyweight title, okay? So we had the World Athletic Association, and then we had the Ohio State Commission. But the weight limit at that time was 167. Okay. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T Hill? Junior middleweight today. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT, the mayor of YouTube Boxing, is in the building. Salute, Mr. Mayor. Like I just said, 168 today. We're going to talk about the Super 6 Classic they had in that division. Okay? But salute to Thomas Hill. Now, so we had the World Athletic Association and the Ohio State Athletic Commission were the first to start the super middleweight division, but they called it the junior light heavyweight division, and the weight limit was 167 originally, okay? So then on April 3rd, 1982, Perry Wimpy Halstead stopped Ron Brown in 6 rounds to win the WAA's inaugural super middleweight title, okay? So 1982, they had started calling it super middleweight, okay? And they had changed the weight limit to 168, but the WAA was still around at that time. Now, Halstead knocked out Dern and Klein in 1 round to win the title. That was in Oklahoma City, by the way. Now, following that, Halstead never defended that title because he moved up to light heavyweight after that fight, okay? Eventually moved up to heavyweight. Now, the media and most state athletic commissions did not recognize those 3 former, Douglas, or Halstead titles, okay? Actually, they didn't even recognize the WAA or the weight class period, okay? Now, in 1984, the current super middleweight division had its beginning, right? Okay, Murray Sutherland defeated Ernie Singletary for the IBF title. That's when they really started recognizing it. When it was the big 3 then, IBF, WBA, WBC, there was no WBO. But once one of those 3 started recognizing, sanctioning fights in that division, that's when the media and, most people started recognizing super middleweight division. And that was in 1984 when the IBF stepped in, okay? And Murray Sutherland was the first IBF champion. Then the WBA started recognizing super middleweight in 1987, okay? They had Chong Pao Park defeated Jesus Collado for the first WBA super middleweight title, okay? Now, Park had been IBF champion in there since 1984, so he had to relinquish that title in order to fight for the WBA. Now, I don't know why. That seemed like just like a simple unification, but it was the WBA's inaugural fight, and I don't know. I guess they didn't want to share the limelight, so he had to drop the IBF to fight for the WBA super middleweight title. Okay, then in 1988, the WBC got on board. They had their first title fight with Sugar Ray Leonard defeated Donnie Lalonde. Okay, that was in 1988, and that was the WBC's version. So now it's official. All 3 of the big 3 was recognized in the division by 1988. Okay, now since the early 1990s, right? There has been a highly competitive super middleweight division in Britain and Ireland, including the rivalry between Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank, and Michael Watson. which included 2 memorable fights and a tragic injury to Watson, followed by the emergence of Steve Collins, who defeated Ben and Eubank, okay, before he retired and vacated the title. All this was going on between UK fighters, over there, UK and Ireland. That's where the early 90s, the super middleweight division was really competitive over there. And then that's when the early 90s, the 10-year reign of Joe Calzaghe began. In addition, fellow Brits Richie Woodhall and Robin Reed also held versions of the title between 1996 and 97 and 97 and 98. Now, during this decade, Americans, James Toney and Roy Jones Jr. also reigned as champions. Okay, James Toney and Roy Jones Jr. came along in the super middleweight division in the 90s, mid to late 90s. In 2007, 2 champions of the division, the undefeated Calzaghe and the likewise undefeated Mikkel Kessler. Mikkel Kessler was German, by the way. They had a title unification fight. Okay. Which Calzaghe won by unanimous decision. He became the unified super middleweight champion of the world. Okay. Now, at the end of the 2000s and start of the 2010s, this division was one of the most active in boxing, and it wasn't that old. At that time, it was just like a little over 20 years old, end of the 2000s, beginning of the 2010s, but it was one of the most active in boxing. By that time, we had the likes of Lucien Butte, Andre Ward, Andre Durwell, Carl Froch, Mikkel Kessler, Anthony Mundine, Arthur Abraham, Robert Stiglitz, Sakio Bika, Alan Green, Jesse Brinkley, Librado Andrade, Edison Miranda, and Jermaine Taylor. All of those names that came around, by the end of the 2000s going into the 2010s. So the division was getting big time right around then. Okay. That's when this was showcased with Showtime's Super 6 World Boxing Classic. They're sought out to find the best super middleweight in the world at the time, okay? Now, I'm going to go more deep into that in a minute. Now, Andre Ward went on to defeat Carl Froch by unanimous decision and win the tournament in late 2011, okay? Now, the current champions at super middleweight, of course, is Canelo Alvarez is undisputed, okay? All right, and he's holding up the belt. Like my friend Jay Hardcore went over so expertly this morning in the hangout about Canelo Alvarez, the guy that was in there, Mr. Hackett, I had to disagree with him. He's saying Canelo deserves to take a break or whatever, something like that. Well, if you want to take a break, vacate the damn belts then. Take all the break you want to. But you can't take no break if you're the undisputed champion, you bringing up guys from lower weight classes, while the guys who've been fighting there for years got to sit there and watch you do that, and they can't even get a chance to be champion. You want to take a break or lay back, vacate the damn belts then. Okay? Now, Canelo Alvarez is the current champion in the division, undisputed. Okay? And let's look at the rankings real quick in the division. These are Ring Magazine rankings. And Ring Magazine is owned by Oscar De La Hoya, but like I said, I ain't gonna hold that against him. Now, of course, the champion is Canelo Alvarez. Ranked number 1 is David Benavidez. Number 2, Christian Mbili. Number 3, Taylor Plant. Number 4, David Morrell. Number 5, Jaime Munguia. 6, Eric Bazilian. 7, Vladimir Shishkin. 8, Diego Pacheco. 9, Edgar Berlanga. And 10, Australia Iglesias. All right, let's take a look at the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. Okay. All right. Everybody doing all right this Monday? Get the week started off okay? Mine has started out okay, you know. I mean, how can you start out Monday? Good. It's just started out okay, you know. Nobody want to end no weekend. Start the work week all over again, but hey, it's part of life. Let me see what y'all talking about. Okay. Remo says, we state there at many tournaments for all vacant belts, at least 4 fighters. Yeah, but you know, Remo, these guys nowadays, they ain't gonna have no tournament because you can't control who you fight in a tournament, you know. That's what the hold up, you know, that's why you would never have another super sport. Where these guys are pampered and picking who they eat. You know, the promoters too, picking who you fight and all this, that I ain't fighting him, I ain't fighting him. And you're in a tournament, you have no control who you fight, and you got to fight who wins. So they ain't doing that. I ain't got them doing it. No. If they did, they would have to order them because half of them wouldn't participate. Like I was saying, they had one at 168. Canelo ain't participating in no tournament. Then you have a Super 6 at 168 and the undisputed champion not even going to participate in it. They're going to get away with it because he Canelo. Like they say, it's wrong, but it's true. He's earned the right to do what he wants to do because he does it. He gets away with it. So let's look at this Super 6 World Boxing Classic. Okay, now this was held over a 2-year period. Okay, now the Super 6 World Boxing Classic was a professional boxing tournament organized by the Showtime television network in cooperation with Storyland Events. That's a German promotional company, Storyland. Okay, tournament was from 2009 to 2011, with all fights being contested in the super middleweight division, and all fights were scheduled for 12 rounds. Now, as part of the contracts with Showtime, the fighters were allowed to fight non-tournament fights during the tournament, okay? As long as it didn't interfere with their tournament schedule, okay? So, you know, during those 2 years, you could schedule other fights outside the tournament as long as it didn't interfere with the fight that you were scheduled to have in the tournament. Okay. So, where was I? Right here. Now, the winner of the tournament was Andre Ward, okay? And in the process, he unified the WBA Super title, WBC, and the ring super middleweight titles. So the IBF, I don't know who had it at the time, but they weren't involved in it. Okay. You see right there, Remo, they had that, and that wasn't even for undisputed. You know, it seemed like you had a tournament like that, everybody would have been involved. But the IBC, that's what I was saying. Everybody have it now, everybody wouldn't participate. They didn't even then. Whoever the IBF champion was wasn't even in it. It was just for the WBA and the WBC. And the WBO was around then too. You know, the IBF and WBO wasn't even involved. And that's how it would be now. Fighters said, well, I'm not participating, you know. So yeah, it's just crazy. These guys don't want to be the best, you know. Now everybody want to fight Tank to get that big bag. They don't even care if they get knocked out. They just want to get that one big mega bag during their career, and they know Tank is the stimulus check. You know, look at Conor Ben. He had welterweight, calling out somebody 2 weights below. I guess that's that one. I don't know. But back to the Super 6. Okay. Where's everybody this afternoon? I guess it's Monday. I don't know. Where's Lonnie Lee? Lonnie must be working late today. Now, the competitors entered into the tournament were then WBA super middleweight champion Mikkel Kessler, then undefeated WBC super middleweight champion Carl Froch, 2004 Olympic gold medalist Andre Ward, former middleweight champions Jermaine Taylor and Arthur Abraham. So it was, and 2004 Olympic bronze medalist Andre Durrell. So it was 6 guys entered into the tournament. Now, Taylor and Kessler withdrew during the tournament and were replaced by former light heavyweight champion Glenn Johnson and super middleweight contender Alan Green. Now, Kessler suffered an eye injury in his fight against Andre Ward in the tournament. That's why he withdrew. I don't know why Jermaine Taylor pulled out. Yeah. Now, the first matches took place on October 17th, 2009. Okay. After 3 group stages, 2 semifinal matches were set. Andre Ward defeated Arthur Abraham in the first, held on May 14th, 2011. Carl Froch defeated Glenn Johnson in the second semifinal, held on June 4th, 2011. Okay, about 3 weeks after the first one. Now, after Froch defeated Johnson, he was elevated to the number 2 rating by Ring Magazine. And with Ward being rated number 1, the final pitted the number 1 and number 2 fighters against one another. Okay, now this was just the WBA and WBC. Okay, now this allowed for the ring title vacancy to be filled at the tournament also. Okay, so the final was just for the WBA, the WBC, and the ring. IBF and WBO, I don't know who had them. They weren't involved. Now, WBA champion Andre Ward beat WBC champion Carl Froch in the final of the tournament on December 17, 2011 at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey, okay, to win the Super 6. Now, it was promoted, Showtime and Salland Promotions were the main promoters of the event. But other promoters involved because, you know, most of the fighters had different promoters. Other promoters involved were, there's the Rise Podcast in the building. Salute to the Rise Podcast. Okay. 9 o'clock weekdays, 12 p.m. on Sundays. The Rise Podcast in the building. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the History Channel. We're talking about the super middleweight division today. I mean, I ain't even going to say subscribe to the Rise Podcast. I know everybody in here is already, right? I know you are, okay? Everybody in here is subscribe to the Rise Podcast, Hardcore Boxing News. Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Just do boxing. There's D for the win. Salute D for the win. How are you today, bro? Starting to stop in. We're talking about the super middleweight division. I was just talking about the Super 6 tournament, which was fought at 168, you know. And we was discussing how we would like to have a Super 6 nowadays, but I doubt it, you know. Because you can't, you know, you have no control over who you're fighting, and these guys ain't going for that. You know, you got to fight who wins. No hand picking and all that stuff. And just like then, whoever had the WBO and the IBF didn't even enter the tournament. That was just for the WBA, the WBC, and the Ring Magazine titles, which Andre Ward ended up with as the winner of the tournament. Now, there were some other promoters involved in the event, included Lou DiBella. He promoted Alan Green, Glenn Johnson, and Jermaine Taylor. Dan Goosen, you know, brother of Joe, the trainer. He promoted Andre Ward. Mick Hennessy promoted Carl Froch prior to his fight with Glenn Johnson. Matchroom promoted Carl Froch starting with his fight against Glenn Johnson. And Kelly Salland, German company, promoted Mikhail Kessler and Arthur Abraham. Gary Shaw promoted Andre Durrell. Now we're going to take a look at 10 fighters, 10 former fighters. They campaigned at super middleweight. Okay. No active guys. Like I said, if I'm doing this 40 years from now, then I'll do a show on Canelo and David Benavidez and Caleb Plant and David Morrell and all them guys. But right now, this is for the old retired people. Okay. 10 former super middleweight. 10 former fighters that fought at super middleweight. Now, they didn't fight their entire careers there, but, you know, the main highlights of these people's careers were at 168. I don't have Roy Jones and James Toney because I had them at light heavyweight and cruiserweight. And as I go through the divisions, I'm only gonna list the person one time in one division. Okay. Yeah, they should D4 to win. They could do it in all the divisions, you know? Yeah. You could get an undisputed in every division out of that. You know, Andre Ward unified the WBA, the WBC, and the ring belt. I don't know who had the IBF and the WBO, but they didn't get in it. And, you know, just like now, these guys, everybody wouldn't participate, you know? Canelo wouldn't, I know that. We have another Super 6 at 168. Canelo not participating in that. He might have to go up against the Mexican monster in that. You know? They both keep winning. But Canelo said, no, I'm not doing that. I might have to fight David Benavidez before it's all over with, man. But they're D4 to win. They should run it back. That is an excellent idea. They would make a lot of money because the fans would love something like that. A tournament, you know, get down to the final, probably be the best against the best. That's why we're not going to get it. Because like I said, they can't control who they fight. But the first guy, it's not like a best of list either I'm doing. It's just 10 good former super middleweights. Okay. Drink of water real quick. Everybody doing all right this Monday afternoon? Get back into the work week, okay? This time is going by fast, I tell you. Hold y'all. That space shuttle keep going up there in and out the Earth's atmosphere. They done speeded the Earth up. That's why time going by so fast. Think about it. I'm not crazy. That's possible. Yeah. And now they don't know how to get it back to normal. But they're not going to tell us. All our lives going by faster. We don't even know it, man. Think about it. Yeah. Going in and out of the Earth's atmosphere, the speed of the Earth is starting to turning faster now. So time going by fast. That's what it is. Everybody talking about it. What's up, Lonnie Lee? What you do? Work late? Work a little late today, Lonnie? Okay. Lonnie Lee is in the building. Good afternoon. Oh, traffic bad today? Okay. Well, take your time and drive safely. Just chat at the lights now. Okay. Just, you know, stop at the red light, chat, you know. But salute to Lonnie Lee in the building. Always listening on his way home from work. You get your week started back off okay, Lonnie? And there is okay. Naheem the Shancock Boxer Pro Day 2027. He was 2025 Friday. Naheem, what happened? But salute, Naheem. I'm just gonna call you Naheem. Like you was in a hangout this morning. Jay just called you Naheem. That's your name is Naheem. Okay. Salute to Naheem. It's good to see you, bro. I'm glad you came back again. We're talking about the super middleweight division today, Naheem. Just talked about the Super 6 tournament. Yeah. Naheem says, yeah, push back, bro. Using an extra year in amateur, okay? Okay, but salute to Naheem. Just start rocking with us Friday. You've been in the hangout a few days. Yeah, we got some other channels too. Check out. Just Do After Me. We got the Rise podcast at 9 o'clock, Naheem. We got Remo on Wednesday mornings at 10. So yeah. All Fire KBT channels. Worth checking out. Okay, you will enjoy them. Guarantee you. Okay, now, Nigel Ben. let's go over Nigel Benn briefly. Okay. Father of Connor. I don't remember Nigel calling out no guys 2 weight classes below him, though. Talk to your boy Nigel, calling out lightweights. There's a guy named Boots at 147 with a title, dying for somebody to fight. We'll come over. Well, Connor can't fight in England, so remember Conor Benn wouldn't fight outside of England. He ain't got no choice. I think he's suspended over there, something, man. Fought in Vegas for the first time. But Nigel Benn, his career went from 1987 to 1996, okay? He compiled a record of 42 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, and he had 35 knockouts in his career. Everybody hit that appreciation button? Naheem, that's what we call the like button in the JBT. We call it the appreciation button, okay? So everybody hit that appreciation button. I would appreciate it. Now, Nigel Benn, okay? Nigel was born in East London, England. He picked up boxing in the British Army and started his amateur career after completing his Army service. All right? Now, he was an aggressive puncher, and the aggression sometimes got him in trouble, okay? He could box too. But he had that Evander Holyfield thing going for him, If Ben got tagged really hard and clean with a shot, he would instantly begin a brawl. Remember how Evander used to do? Yeah. And then he would just forget all about the game plan. Nigel Benn was the same way. He called himself the Dark Destroyer. And like I said, he was a good boxer. But he was a more entertaining brawler, and it was easy to get him to engage into a brawl. All I had to do was catch him clean a couple of times. Nigel just throw the game plan straight out the window. And he was more entertaining when he was brawling, okay? Now, he was blessed with natural power in both hands, and he could fight and make up any shortcomings with the heart he had, okay? He had a big heart. Now, he started in the middleweight division. Okay, then eventually moved up to super middleweight. Okay, he started at middleweight, eventually moved up to super middle. Okay, now he beat several solid contenders, like Robbie Sims, Dan Sherry, and Thulan Malinga. Okay, and then that's how he got his shot at the championship held by Mauro Galvano. Now, he won the WBC championship by a 4th round stoppage over Galvano. Okay, they defended his title 9 times between 1992 and 1996. Had a rivalry with Chris Eubank, okay, through the years. Nigel Benn. Okay. Next up is Joe Calzaghe. Okay. Joe Calzaghe. Now, Joe Calzaghe's career went from 1993 to 2008, 15 years. Joe Calzaghe won 46 fights, didn't lose any in his career. Had 32 knockouts, 46-0, over 15 years, okay? He was born in London, England, okay? Now, after an above-average amateur career, featuring 120 fights, he turned pro and advanced steadily through the ranks. Okay, Joe Calzaghe. Now, they called him the Pride of Wales. Okay, he had extremely fast hands and fast feet, right? His speed, along with quick reflexes, helped him, but his determination and stamina also played a major role in his success. Yeah. Boy had a gas tank on him, Joe Calzaghe. Yeah. And it was always entertaining to watch him box, because he had a very high punch output, that went along with the gas tank. And late in fights, kind of like David Benavidez, get late in fights. Joe Calzaghe's punch output didn't go down. He could maintain that high punch output for 12 rounds, punching just as much in 12 as he was in 1. Now, he beat several contenders to earn his shot at the title, including Frank Mitchell, Robert Curry, and Mark Delaney. He went up against British legend Chris Eubank for the WBO title, and he won. Hard fought, but clear decision to capture the championship. Okay. He shares the record with Sven Ottke for the most title defenses as a super middleweight, with 20 title defenses, tied for the record. Okay. And he held the title between 1997 and 2008. Beat top-notch contenders such as Robin Reed, Charles Brewer, Byron Mitchell, Jeff Lacey, and Mikkel Kessler to solidify his legacy. Kawasaki was very competitive and rarely took rounds off, even when he could afford to. Joe Kawasaki. Next up is Steve Collins. A lot of UK fighters, because the super middleweight division ain't that old, and UK, Ireland ruled it in the early years, late 80s, early through the 90s, and plus I already did Roy Jones and Lights Out. And Scott. I did them in other divisions. I just said his name. James Toney, yeah. Lights Out James Toney, right? Okay. Now, next up is Steve Collins. Okay. His career spanned 1986 to 1997. Ended his career with a record of 36 wins, 3 losses, 21 coming by way of knockout. Okay, Steve Collins. He was born in Cabra, Dublin, Ireland. All right. Now, although he was born in Ireland, he picked up many skills while boxing his first fights in the United States. Okay. Now, he moved through the pros fast, and he won the middleweight crown before setting his sights on the super middleweight division. Okay. So he too started at middleweight, worked his way up, but he had his, most success at known for super middleweight. He too had unlimited stamina, and he seemed to get stronger as the rounds went by. Had an iron chin and will that could not be broken. He could punch from all angles, and he never stopped punching. Okay. Another one with a high punch volume and a good gas tank. A couple of big assets. Now, he was a decent boxer, but he was better as a brawler. Okay. He called himself the Celtic Warrior. And he beat Chris Eubank for the WBO super middleweight title. And then he beat Chris Eubank in a rematch. Showed it wasn't a fluke. Okay, beat Chris Eubank twice. That's senior now. Chris Eubank, the father. He defended his title 7 times. Okay, between 1995 and 1997. His reign included 2 stoppage victories over Nigel Benn before he retired as champion. And he always seemed to leave it all in the ring. Now, as he gained experience, he began to dominate his foes with non-stop aggression and a will that refused to be broken. And say that his main asset was his will. Okay, Steve Collins had an iron will. High punch volume guy. Great gas tank. Next is Chris Eubank. Chris Eubank's career went from 1985 to 1998. He had 52 fights, finished with a record of 45 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws, 23 knockouts. Okay, 23 knockouts. He was born in London, Dulwich, London, England. Now, he took up boxing because he was bullied in school as a youngster. Now, he had a brief amateur career. Then he turned pro. Eventually won his first title in the middleweight division. Okay. He was an aggressive puncher. But eventually he evolved into a thinking boxer. Liked to set traps and box from the outside. He always had some crazy ring interests. One time he rode a motorcycle down the aisle to the ring. Yeah, Chris Eubank. Yeah. Remember him? Back in the 90s, 2000s. I didn't see that one where he rode the motorcycle. He always did some crazy stuff. He actually rode a motorcycle to the ring one time. Now, he possessed a rock-solid chin also. And he had a high level of confidence, right? Make Muhammad Ali look shy. Yeah. And he had above average boxing ability, especially when it came to setting traps. Jab, straight right hand was his bread and butter. He could box on the front foot and the back foot. He was known as simply the best. Fought Michael Watson for the super middleweight title and stopped Michael Watson. After he stopped, he did permanent damage to Watson, okay? And he stopped after that. He stopped throwing power punches for the rest of his career. Okay, he made defenses against Dulani Malinga, Tony Thornton, Nigel Benn, and Graziano Rocchigiani. Held the super middleweight title from 1991 to 1995. In his prime, Chris Eubank was a tough cookie to crack. Chris Eubank. Okay. Next up is Carl Froch. He made it to the finalists in the Super Six against Andre Ward. Okay, Carl Froch. He started his career in 2002 and retired in 2014. 33 wins, only 2 losses, 24 knockouts. Okay. Born in Nottinghamshire, United Kingdom. Okay. Now, he fought all of his fights except for a few early fights at 168. He started at 160, but most of it, he only fought a few there. Most of his fights was at 168. Okay. Only Andre Ward, who outpointed him in 2011 in the Super 6, was the only fighter that didn't lose to Carl Froch, who called himself the Cobra. His other loss was to Mikkel Kessler, but he avenged it. Okay? In 2013. He had wins over Jermaine Taylor, Arthur Abraham, Glenn Johnson, Lucien Butte, and George Groves twice. Butte and George Groves coming in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. Okay? Wait a minute. George Groves was in front of 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium in the final fight of his career. Okay? And those fights were enough to seal an Englishman's induction into the Hall of Fame in 2023. He was one of the fighters that participated in the famous Super 6 Boxing Classic. He finished the tournament as runner-up, losing to Andre Ward in the final. He was Boxback's Fighter of the Year in 2012. Won his first World Championship in 2008, when he got a 12-round unanimous decision over Canadian John Pascal. And that was for the vacant WBC Super Middleweight title. Carl Froch. Carl Froch. Might have time to drop the old link today. Everybody doing all right on a Monday afternoon. Cast Sports, the History Channel. It's good. Okay, next up will be German Michael Kessler. Yep, Michael Kessler, German fighter. Also started out in the Super 6, but he suffered an eye injury against Andre Ward, and he ended up pulling out. He was replaced by Glenn Johnson. Well, I know two fighters pulled out, and Glenn Johnson and another fighter. I forgot who the other guy was, but replaced him. Yeah, Michael Kessler was one of the fighters that pulled out of the Super 6 boxing tournament, boxing classic. A German fighter, Michael Kessler. Okay, he started his career in 1998 and retired in 2013 with a record of 46 wins, 3 losses, 35 by way of knockout. Well, born in Copenhagen, Denmark. I said German, but close. They both go that way. Copenhagen, Denmark. Okay. He competed in the amateurs for 5 years. Okay. Compiling a record of 44 wins and 3 losses. Okay. Turned pro in 1998 and started out at junior middleweight and middleweight for the first 22 fights of his career. After 3 years as a professional, Kessler settled in at super middleweight. Okay? In the super middleweight division. Now, super middleweight, he continued his hard-hitting ways. Okay? He stopped 6 out of 7, his first 7 opponents at super middleweight. Stopped 6 out of the first 7 he faced. Okay? BN Boxing News in the building. Salute to BN Boxing News. What's up, bro? Just taking a look at the super middleweight division today. Can't find my book. Oh, there it is. I always write down everybody. I'm going to do a quiz one day, and there will be prizes, some nice prizes. I'm trying to get some laptops. There'll be like 3 prizes, first, second, and third place. Like 20 questions, and all the questions will be something that I have said in one of my lives. Now you have to have been in at least like 10. You know, it can't nobody come in for the first time and win a prize. And I know I write down every you know, because you see me do my roll call at this, so I write down everybody that's been on, so I know who's been, right? Yeah, that's coming up. 20 questions will be 3 winners. Okay, and all questions will be something that I've said of some boxing history that comes from one of my lives. Okay, I'm not going to, say anything that I haven't said in here. So keep that in mind and listen, because it will be a test. Yeah, and I think I'm going to give away 3 laptops. Okay. 3 HP laptops like I got. Now, third place might get my old one and I keep didn't know. No, I'm not going to do that. I said, whoever come in third get my old one and I keep one of the new ones. But no, you will get a brand new laptop still in the box, I promise. And the quiz is coming up on Cat Sports the History Channel. So listen, it's coming. Okay. Now, where was I? I was on Mikhail Kessler, right? But salute to BN Boxing News in the building. Okay, Mikhail Kessler. Bear with me for a second. Yeah. Okay, I got it. He stopped 6 out of his first 7 opponents when he moved to super middleweight. Okay. So he continued his hard hitting, hard punching. Okay. Now, he won his first championship in 2002 at super middleweight. He beat IBF champion Dengon Lobella, 12-round decision. Also had wins over Anthony Mundine, Librado Andrade, Librado Andrade, Alan Green, and Carl Froch. Okay, he called himself the Viking Warrior. Had power in both hands, excellent conditioning. You know, a lot of those guys from that part of the world have good gas tanks. Y'all notice that? Yeah. It just seems like it. Okay. And his excellent conditioning was a huge asset to him. Okay. Now, he didn't often engage in brawls, although he had a solid chin. Okay. Now, he could operate as a pressure fighter, or he could pick his opponents apart from outside. And he was one of the original participants in the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, but like I just told you, he had to withdraw due to an eye injury he suffered in the tournament. And that was in his fight with Andre Ward, and he said in the press that Andre Ward headbutted. And excuses. Yeah. But he did, it wasn't like single elimination, so he lost to Andre, but he could have stayed in the tournament, but he said his eye injury, he had to withdraw. So, he withdrew. Now, okay, next up is Michael Nunn. Now, Michael Nunn is kind of like the AB of that time, Guy had all kind of potential, man, but he just didn't put the mental part into it. Like he could have been, Michael Nunn could have been a Sugar Ray Leonard or somebody. Had that kind of talent, man. Slick, flashy boxer, but he just, he had something. He was a champion and stuff, but he just didn't get as much out of boxing that he should have. Yeah, kind of like the AB. Had all the talent, but didn't do the mental part. Didn't do the work. But Michael Nunn, okay, he turned pro in 1984 and he fought till 2002, 18 years. Now, he won 58 fights, only losing 4. Had 38 knockouts. He was born in Davenport, Iowa, okay? And after an impressive amateur career in which he won 168 of 176 fights, he turned professional and ended up becoming a 2-weight world champion. He had the IBF middleweight belt from 1988 to 1991 and the WBA super middleweight belt from 1992 to 1994. Okay. Now, during both those reigns, he also held the linear championship. Now, Michael Nunn first started boxing when he was 11 years old after his older brother encouraged him to attend the local boxing gym in order to keep him out of trouble. Okay, because he was going down that line. Now, he was tall at 6'3", had excellent speed and movement, very slick boxer. Okay, and his power was very underrated. He had wins against some top fighters in his prime, including Frank Tate, Marlon Starling, the Stallion, Donald Curry, Juan Domingo Rodon, Iran Barkley, and Victor Cordova. Twice. He was beating James Toney. Then he got knocked out in the championship round. Got cocky. Had his ass knocked out. and he was favored by 17-1 over a young James Toney in that fight. I think that was the early 90s, early to mid 90s, favored by 17-1. He really disrespected James Toney leading up to that fight too. And James Toney just abided his time, waited, bam, put the boo-bop bam on him, on old Michael. That was a very, very, I don't know if he ever recovered from that loss to Toney. Now, like I was saying, Michael Nunn is a special version of boxing's what-if story, okay? He had success, winning titles in 2 divisions, but, and this is the big but, the skills he had suggested that even more would have been possible if he had been more consistent. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Michael Nunn was one of boxing's pound-for-pound best, right? But he is in the Nevada State Hall of Fame, okay? Yeah. Yep, he is in the Nevada State Hall of Fame. So that's something, right? All right, what time are we working with? Are we getting up into it? Yeah, we gotta make it there. Yeah. It's Monday. Tomorrow we're going to talk about middleweight. Yeah. Look at the middleweight division and some fighters in it. Yeah. No Pro Box this week. Pro Box is next week. Yeah. It's every other week. It's going back to Wednesday. I think it was something to do with Valentine's Day. I don't know why Valentine's Day would make Pro Box. A boxing match change this date, but I don't know. Gregory Pratt, hashtag JBT, aka GP, in the building. What's up, GP? How are you, bro? We're taking a look at the super middleweight division today. That's all. Cat Sports, the History Channel, aka the Boxtorian. That name courtesy of Thomas Hill, the mayor of YouTube Boxing, and I love it. Also, 2 o'clock Shorty. That name courtesy of A Hardcore. What in the world? I don't know what that sound was. Yeah, 2 o'clock Shorty, the Boxtorian. All them is me. But welcome, Gregory Pratt, to another episode of Cat Sports. We're just looking at the super middleweight division today, that's all. Enjoying this Monday afternoon with my people. I hope that if you rock with me these 2 hours, it makes your day just a little bit better, because it made mine better, being with y'all in here. Always looking forward to 2 o'clock every day now, you know, being part of this fire JBT lineup. An honor. And like I was saying in the hangout this morning, these great JBT supporters, man, wow, it's crazy. Best supporters on YouTube. But where are we? I think we got like 2 or 3 more to go. It's almost 3:30. Michael Nunn. Next is Van Atke. Yeah, that's I knew I had a German fighter in here. Yeah, Van Atke. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I've heard him pronounce it many times and still get it wrong. But he started his career in 1997 and he retired in 2004. Compiled a record of 34 wins, 0 losses. But he only had 6 knockouts. Okay. No power. But he still didn't lose a fight. Okay. Van Atke. Now, he was born in Berlin, West Germany. Now he picked up boxing at the age of 14, and he learned quickly. He became a top amateur. He had over 300 fights in the amateurs. Okay, Competed in 3 Olympics before turning professional for Germany. Had major international experience, okay, before fighting in the professional. 3 Olympics. Now, you know, he lacked punching power. You can look at his record and see that, you know, 34 fights, 6 knockouts. But he didn't lose a fight. Lacked punching power, but his footwork, jab, feint, and over. Oh boy, I'm back. Man, I don't know what the. I'm back, right? Christmas, man. Somebody give me a thumbs up, please. I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. Somebody give me a thumbs up. If y'all can hear me. Thank you, Gregory Pratt. Man, I don't know what happened. That's the 3rd time that happened in the last 2 weeks. Gee, Christmas. Okay. I'm black. Now, where was it? I was talking about Mikhail Kessler. Gee, Christmas. Thank you, Jay Hardcore. And I paid too much money for this shit for this to be happening, man. That's 3 times in like 2 weeks. But I was talking about Mikhail Kessler, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, he was Sven Ottke, the German guy. Yeah. Like I said, he lacked punching power, but his footwork, jab, feints, and overall ring generalship were off the charts. Okay. Tied with Joe Kawasaki for the most title defense with 20, and it still stands to this day. Oh, really? Cash App? Oh, my goodness. My Cash App? Okay. I'm checking. Yeah. Time with Joe Kawasaki. That kind of threw me off. Still got my music though, Jay, so I'm good. Now he had exceptional stamina too. Okay. Had a good punch rate. Now he hated to leave his country to fight. Always wanted to fight in Germany. Okay. But you still got to give him credit for what he accomplished in the ring. You know, he beat contenders like Ali Sadie, Alan Smith, and William Krishnan. That's how he got his shot at the title. When he went up for the title, it was held by Charles the Hatchet Brewer. Remember Charles Brewer? Now he beat Brewer by a 12-round decision. And once he got that title, like I was saying, he made 20 total defenses, okay, between 1998 and 2004. 20 fights in 6 years. And they got wins over Anthony Mundine, Thomas Tate, Joe Gaddy, and Robin Reed. Okay. German fighters, Sven Latke. Let me check something real quick. Sorry about that going out on me. I'm gonna have to get in touch with these people, man. I can't have that. I was panicking. Oh, that's not right. Oh, that was the Cash App. Wow, who was that? I'm trying to see. Was it you, Jay? But next up is bear with me for a second. Excuse me for a second, please. Oh, there it is. I can't find who sent me. Somebody sent me $5. But let me finish this show. Okay, who sent me $5? That is my first official money. Appreciate it. But that'll help toward my prizes for the quiz I'm giving. It's going to be private on history. Anything I've said in one of my lives is going to be the part of the question. 20 questions. Oh, here we go. 20 questions, 3 winners coming up soon. Okay. Coming up soon. I don't know. Okay, next up is let's finish up. Chong Pao Park. Okay. Oh, from the Hangout. Okay, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. So I guess they gonna hit the bag 5 times tonight to cover that $5 the Hangout sent me. Did the Hangout send me $5 and he got to hit the bag too? Something wrong with that picture, ain't it, Jay? But I really appreciate it. Okay. Chong Pao Park. Now, he started his career in 1977 and retired in 1988. Total of 52 fights, 46 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 39 knockouts. Okay. He was born in South Korea, blessed with natural power in both hands, deadly close up, short hooks and body shots. Now, he was somewhat slow on his feet, and his chin was suspect, but his heart, will, and power could bail him out, okay? Could not be questioned. Now, he was not special at any one thing, but he was above average in all areas. One of those kind of cases, you know. Not good at any one thing, but above average in a lot of things. That was Chung Pao Park, okay? Started in the 70s, went all the way to 2004. I mean, no, I didn't see too much of him. But he went all the way to 1988, okay. Yeah, 70s and 80s. He came around right when the division was just beginning. His career was right there at the beginning. Chung Pao Park. All right. We got up to 20 likes again. Appreciate it. Jay says, BNB, go play with your Oxycontin. Oh, man. Now, Chung Pao Park, like I said, he wasn't real good at any one thing, but above average in a lot of things. That's what made him so special. Okay? Now, he was one of those guys that wanted all the smoke, fought everybody, okay? Didn't turn down nothing. That's how most of the guys was. Remember, he fought his main career was 70s and 80s, okay? So most of the guys back then was like that. Oh, there was another cash app. Oh, okay. Oh, you almost want me to head this contest. Yeah, a lot of those guys back then was like that though, because they didn't want they wasn't worrying about no O or anything. They wanted to be known as the best. Okay. And if one guy got a belt and another guy come in his division with a belt, he's like, give me that. You know, I want that. And they was each other's next fight. Okay. I mean, you couldn't nobody call you no names like pussy and all that stuff and didn't get a response. The fight, you call somebody that the fight started at the press conference. Okay. These guys, what Matias called them like a month, 2 months ago, he still ain't got no response from them. You couldn't do that back then. Just couldn't do it. Okay. There's another $10 in the Cash App. Y'all showing off. I'll tell you who it's from tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, Chung Pao Park. He had concussive type power. Excellent punch placement. Okay, excellent punch placement. He beat several contenders on his way to the top, like Ray Young Min, Gary Hubble, and Roosevelt Green. Roosevelt Green, yeah. Man. Okay, now, what are y'all trying to do? Okay. My goodness. Y'all showing off, ain't y'all? There goes some more cash apps. Wow. Man. Okay, but let me get back to this. Okay, because we're running out of time, but I appreciate it. I appreciate these cash apps. Okay. And you know what I'm going to put them to? I'm going to put them to these prizes I'm giving when I get my quiz. Okay. kind of like the show you had, Jay. But and all these questions are going to come from things I've said during my lives. Okay, so listen up. Now, I still got one more to do, and that will be Andre Ward. Last but certainly not least. And Park, he's known as one of the best, if not the best, Korean boxer ever. Chung Pao Park. Okay? Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do Boxing? We got like 20 more minutes before Just Do Boxing will be on these airwaves. The Voice. Yeah. Just Do Boxing. That's what I'm getting you warmed up for. And I'll see you over there in about 20 minutes. But we got to do Andre Ward. But salute to Just Do Boxing, The Voice, in the building. Last but not least, Andre Ward. Of course, Andre's career, he started in 2004, retired in 2017, compiling a record of 32 wins, no losses, 16 coming by way of knockout. Okay? Called himself SOG, Son of God. Okay? Andre Ward. I'm trying to do too many things. Okay, here we go. Now, Andre Ward was born in San Francisco, California. He had an amazing amateur career, which culminated in, guess what? A gold medal in the 2004 Olympics. Okay? He went over there and got the gold for the United States. Yep. Oh. I got to get back to the chat. I had left out on my phone and went to the cash app. I'm all messed up. But I got two phones. Oh. Korean fighter name, LOL. Yeah, you know, I'm bad with names too. You sound like what you ate. Yeah, Chung Pao Park. The dude on it. Sound like some kind of Chinese food. Yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I was putting it in the chat. Like A. Ku Young, Chung Pao Park. So you go down there. Can I help you? Give me an order of Chung Pao Park. But that's his name. There it is. Now you make it up. But Andre Ward, okay, he had an amazing amateur career. Okay. Culminating in a gold medal in the 2004 Olympics. Solid fundamental fighter. He could win on points from a distance. But he was also an excellent inside boxer. Old school boxing style. Y'all know about Andre, SOG. He had that old school style, right? Had an excellent jab. Worked behind that jab excellently. Good footwork, good feet. But like I said, he could also fight on the inside. Good body snatcher. Good body puncher, Andre was. Thinking fighter. But guess what? He would get up in them trenches with you too now. Andre wasn't scared to get in them trenches. Y'all seen him. Now, he beat several top-rated boxers to earn his #1 contender position. He beat Jersey Ravello, Edison Miranda. That's where he got his crack at Mikkel Kessler. And he dominated Mikkel to become champion. No, he fought Mikel in the Super Six, right? That's when Mikel said Andre headbutted him and messed his eye up, and Mikel got out of it. Yeah, but that was just an excuse. You lose. You got to go back home. He was from Denmark somewhere. You got to go back home and who got beat by who over here in the United States. So, he headbutted me. You can't go back and say you got your ass beat by him. You got to come up with something. Now, in defense of the crown, Andre schooled Arthur Abraham, Carl Froch, Chad Dawson, and Evan Rodriguez, all big names in the superweight division around the 2000 teens, early 2000 teens. Chad Dawson, Arthur Abraham, Carl Froch. Yeah, y'all all heard them names. Because they wasn't none of those guys were too long ago. All of them in the 20 teens, between 2010 and 2020, yeah. Okay, Andre beat all of them. Beat everybody, 32-0, right? Now, the fight with Dawson was a very good fight. Okay, that was at light heavyweight, though. Dawson was the light heavyweight champion at the time. And Ward Manham. Okay. And he was a super middleweight champion from 2009 to 2015. And he is a member of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Okay. And that's it. Super middleweight. Tomorrow we are going to do middleweight. Super middleweight. Going down, right? Going down. Yeah, middleweight. But everybody doing okay this Monday afternoon. I messed around and turned the phone up. Oh yeah, Jay taught me that. I used to pay attention to the laptop, but Jay said, it's better to do everything off of your phone. One thing I do with the laptop now is set everything up. After that, I forget the laptop until it go out on me like it did a little while ago. That's 3 times in 2 weeks, ain't it? And now I know I got like 3 cash apps. I'm trying to figure out where I got it. I know Jay sent me one from the Hangout. Oh, okay. Gregory Pratt, did you send me one? Yeah. Gregory Pratt. I appreciate that. I believe Gregory Pratt sent me one. And who else? Mike Masick. Okay, I got it. Appreciate it. From the Hangout, Gregory Pratt and Mike Masick. I appreciate it, my friends, my peoples. Yeah, that's going to go toward the prizes because I want to get back to y'all too. So be listening because it's a quiz coming up. 20 questions, but there's going to be 3 winners. The top 3 winners. You get the most answers. Now you have to have been in at least about 10 live chats because, nobody can just come in for the first time and win. But I write everything down because I always do my roll call at the end, right? So I know everybody that's been in it. Yes. All right. Who are you talking about, Gregory? Andre Ward? Or are you talking about Chung Pao Park, the Chinese food guy? Yeah. But remember, we got Just Do Boxing coming up in about 10 minutes. And then Jay Hardcore is going to spin the block, come back at 8, because 8 plus 8 equals the Hangout, remember? Then the Rise podcast at 9 o'clock. Finish it off the day for the JBT. Turns out the lights and close the door until the next morning. Starts all over again with the Hangout at 8. And then Wednesday, we got Remo, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. And then every now and then you might catch a Casuals Corner from Aunt McQueen. You got to subscribe and turn your notifications on because he don't have any special time, but Casuals Corner might pop up at any time. So just turn your notifications on, keep your ears open for him, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the all-star lineup, just do boxing. It make me think. Remember about y'all see the All-Star game yesterday? The slam dunk contest was okay. They ain't like the ones back in the day though. No. Like '88, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. Nah, there'll never be another one of them. And they cheated Dominique, of course, because they was in Chicago. That's why they gave it to Mike. They gave it to Dominique. It might have been a riot in that place. But Mike did take off from the free throw line for the first time. That boy flew, man. He went all the way down the other end and looked at Dr. J in the audience and took off, man, that free throw line. Boy, he had that ball cocked back behind his head, he had his tongue out, that arm out. He probably could have went like 10 more feet if the basket was further back. Yeah. He flew. And many times after that, Michael Jordan. But yeah, we don't have no football no more. We got basketball and hockey. I watch hockey every now and then. Like I always say, they are some amazing athletes, man. You know, they pushing that puck down the ice, they passing, they catching passes, they defending. They doing all that stuff while skating on ice skates, man. Just some amazing athletes. Hockey players are, man. I have always thought that. They doing all that, some coordination, man. Doing all that while skating. I can't even skate with my hands in my pockets. And they doing all that stuff. Skating, man. Crazy. Baseball starting back up. The Orioles won 100 games last year, but got knocked out in the first round. Then, you know, as we talked about Friday, baseball. Where's Al Booker at today? Yeah. Baseball takes so long, man. But they got the pitch clock now where once they catcher throw the ball back, once the pitcher gets it back, the clock starts. He got a certain amount of time to throw it to home base, and the batter got to get his ass in that box. Because they used to be ridiculous, man. They used to be ridiculous. You see the batter get in there and wait just until the man get ready to throw the ball, then he go jump out. Time out. He can't do that no more. You know? Yeah. But that's what we got now. We got basketball, NBA. But I'm just an NBA fan when the playoffs start. Because that's when they start playing hard. They ain't doing nothing now, running them down the court, making all that money. But when the playoffs start, then they won their championship. They start playing hard then. Yeah, that's when I start watching. My team have been good since the 70s, the Wizards. I always go with the hometown. The Wizards are the closest. They used to be in Baltimore one time, the Bullets. But yeah, they haven't been good since. Wes Unseld. That was back in the 70s, Wes Unseld. Y'all probably, half people here probably never even heard of Wes Unseld. 6'7" center. Playing Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all them guys, Bill Russell at 6'7". But he was solid, man. I saw him in person a couple times, built like a Dodge Ram truck, man. Big, wide dude, man. I said, no wonder all them 7-footers couldn't do nothing with his ass. Shit. Once he plant down in that paint, shit, you better go around him. Because you ain't going through that Unseld, yeah. I seen him. I met him a few times. Yeah. He passed away now, though. Man, after his career, his knees was all messed up. Man, he used to walk like one leg going that way and one leg going that way. Oh, my goodness. Wes was all messed up, his legs, man. Yeah. I knew his brother, too. His brother didn't play, but, you know, yeah. I used to work at this college, and they used to come there in the summertime and do basketball camps, and I used to go up there. His brother used to always be with him. That was when West was still playing then. Back in the 70s, yeah. But another cast sports is getting ready to go in the books. And again, I appreciate Jay Hardcore, Gregory Pratt, Mike Mason for the contribution. Yeah, it ain't the same, Gregory. No way. They said station break me. Yeah. No, it's not the same at all, Gregory. It's watered down. And see, now they got so many more teams and stuff and keep getting those franchise teams in the league. And then you got to have more players to fill them. And it's just watered down, you know. The talent level is nothing like what it was back in the old days, man. Shit, shit, if I was young, I could play in the NBA now. Some of that stuff they got in there, man. Guys can't even dribble. And then traveling. The referees, they could call traveling on every play if they wanted to. You know? If they started calling traveling, a game would never finish because there would be so many whistles. You know? So, yeah. But it is definitely watered down, Gregory. You are 100% right about that. But tomorrow we're going to have the middleweight division. I appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Okay, we had Just Do Boxing in the building today. Gregory Pratt, hashtag JBT. BN Boxing News. Naheem. And yeah, he got like 50 characters in his name, but we appreciate you, Naheem. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT. D for the Win was in the building. The Rise Podcast was in the building today. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT, the mayor of YouTube Boxing. Mike Ryan, and he was on time. Jay Hardcore was in here, hashtag JBT. That's the founder of the JBT, Jay Hardcore. Brother has been so much help with me on my channel. I appreciate Jay Hardcore. Remo, hashtag JBT, hashtag Let's Talk Fashion. Remo, we're going to come up tomorrow at the end of the show and give us a preview because tomorrow is Tuesday. And then Let's Talk Fashion is Wednesday. A blend of fashion, sports, and entertainment, and life. And Mike Masick was in the building. I appreciate everybody, man, for continuing to rock with my growing channel. Another Cast Sports is in the books. This is Cast Sports, the History Channel, aka The Box Story, aka 2 o'clock Shorty. Everybody have a great day. Just Do Boxing next. Jay Hardcore spins the block at 8, Rise Podcast at 9. I'm out.